So hello you guys and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be doing another tier list video, okay? I love these videos, they're fun to do. I waste hours doing them, just for no goddamn reason anyway. So I thought, hey, with Fear the Walking Dead coming to an end with the upcoming final season, with the other spin-offs like World Beyond finished, Tales of the Walking Dead finished for now, and Walking Dead the main show being over, I thought it would be fun to do a tier list all the seasons of the shows that we have so far, because I know this list is going to change and be absolutely chaotic once Dead City, the Daryl Dixon show and the Roshon show air. And Fear the Walking Dead, well, we just don't know what we're going to get with the final season. I mean, that show takes chances. I love doing the tier list videos, but they always make me a little bit cautious, because I'm blatantly honest, I always have been. And even if it's like an unpopular opinion, I'm like, I don't care. How about that? I don't give a shit. So these are just my opinions. This is just how I rank them. Leave your thoughts in the comments. Obviously, let me know what you think. If you'd change anything, rank anything differently. I'd love to read your opinions and your views on how you'd compare the shows against each other, because it does differ for season to season, especially like for me. But anyway, before we get started, if you guys want to check out the link to my Patreon that's down below, where I do a whole bunch of reaction videos. There's 2 uploads a day over there. There's a mixture of old shows and new shows. I'm working through Buffy, I'm working through The X-Files, I'm working through Star Trek The Next Generation, but I'm also doing new shows, like I'm doing Yellow Jackets, which I have started to upload here on YouTube too, but I've run into copyright problems. No matter how I try and dance around it and edit it down to bejesus, it is what it is. But the extended version of Yellow Jackets goes up over there, as well as when the Walking Dead shows come back, the extended version of all those reactions are going to be going up on Patreon. Let's just go, because my god, this intro is nearly 3 minutes already. I have a problem with talking. I cannot stop. Hang on now, I gotta remember, how do I get this on the screen again? This is the Walking Dead universe show. So we have the Walking Dead, we have Fear the Walking Dead, we have World Beyond, and we have Tales of the Dead as well. I don't see, what's it called, Dead in the Water? Dead in the Water should technically be in there as well. That's the webisode show. And then there was that Flight show, Flight whatever the hell number it was. I'll see if I can add them in at the end in editing. Now I think I did this for The Walking Dead, right? I tiered listed all of The Walking Dead seasons, but I don't think I did Fear, and I definitely didn't factor in the spin-offs and the other shows. So oh wow, trying to remember what happened in each season of Fear is going to be an absolute challenge in itself. Well, first of all, I always rename these because I don't get the S tier. Why the hell is S number 1? I'm just going to rename the S one. So this is the top. Alright, so first of all, season 1 of The Walking Dead has got to go up there. Season 1 of that show is just, in my opinion, it is just absolutely unmatched. That show, there should be a level above top tier for that, I think. I remember, I didn't watch the show back when it started. I started watching the show, I think season 5 was on air. But I remember when this came out, everybody in school was talking about it. Everybody that I knew was watching it. Everybody had an opinion, you know, because at the time it was fucking massive, man. There was nothing like it. It was just special from day one. I love how intimate season 1 felt and how really character driven it was. Looking back on it now, and I always say this, when it comes to my favourite shows, usually my favourite seasons are the season 1s. Especially with the long running show that has over 9 or 10 seasons. When you go back and you rewatch season 1, everybody just looks like babies. They haven't been through it yet. Life on the show has not beaten them down. I mean, you go back, you look at Rick in season 1. What was the biggest thing in the world in season 1? Obviously the outbreak. Duh. But you had the smaller storylines like bringing the characters together and connecting them, establishing hierarchy within the group. You had Rick fucking Grimes. You had the Shane and Laurie situation, which to this day, my god, to this day that shit still pisses me off. Laurie, I used to absolutely hate her back in the day. I really, really did. But the more I rewatch the show, I'm like, I mean, she's okay, I guess. She's just kind of there. She had her good moments, definitely. Sleeping with her dead husband's best friend was not one of them. I mean, yeah, the world went to shit and stuff just happens. The world is going to shit. You think your husband is dead. You think you might die. Your husband's best friend is there. He is kind of sexy. Let's face it, it's John Bernthal. Hello? So I can't really blame her for that. But at the same time, I'm like, dude. The drama that created. But everybody was just so young. There were so many characters that were still with us and quite prominent in season 1 that died. a season or two later. I mean, this was way before everything that in my head is so iconic about The Walking Dead. The lineup is one of my favourite aspects of The Walking Dead. The Whisperer is one of my favourite aspects. You go back to season 1, everything just felt so much smaller and simpler. And the poster, even just the fucking poster, Rick going into Atlanta. You've all the cars coming out, you got nothing going in because everyone knows what the fuck is up. They're like, get the hell out of the city. I just love it. Even though it does make you wonder, like, if there was an outbreak, is the best idea really to clog up the highway and get eaten by a goddamn walker behind your steering wheel? No. If everyone's getting out of the city's going to be empty eventually. Just find somewhere high up, set up camp and wait for everyone to panic rush away. This is why I would die day 2 of an outbreak, but there you go. Alright, season 2. Season 2 is a weird one, and I've said this before. Listen, I did a ranking of the Walking Dead seasons. I don't remember where I put them. I barely remember what I had for breakfast this morning. But I know season 2, it was never particularly one of my favourites. People go batshit crazy for season 2 and the farm and all that storyline. I just found it too slow. I found it too focused on certain storylines and certain plot points and settings that I was like, it's not one that I rewatch all that often. I'll put it in B just because it did give us some pretty good characters. It did give us some pretty good plot points, but like, we're bringing it down to C. And that's like blasphemy for some reason, because anyone I've ever spoken to, they love season 2. And when I'm like, no, there's bloody murder. Where's season 3 and 4? We have got to put them. There we go. 3 and 4 will go up in A for me. I always class 3 and 4 together. I always group them together. I just love everything about that. It's weird because the governor is not one of my favourite villains, and I always say this and I'm open about that. Yeah, he's great. No, he's not my favourite. And every time I say that, I get people telling me why I'm wrong. But the prison is my favourite set in the whole show. I just love everything about it. I do love a lot of the storylines that take place. I love the prisoners that we meet once we do go into the prison. The ones that chose to stay there and like lock themselves away. That's just fucking fascinating. And then there's such huge plot points that happen over the course of these 2 seasons. You got the birth of Judith. You got the rise and fall of the governor. You got Laurie dying. Michonne is introduced. Yeah, I know she's technically introduced at the end of season 2, but she's introduced in season 3. We get to meet her and talk to her and learn all about that. I loved watching her and Andrea, getting to watch their backstory. I liked Woodbury as a set and as a concept. The Walker pits, well, is that what they're called? You know, the fighting pits with the walkers that the governor had set up. I don't know. The death of Laurie really shook me because she was like a main character. She's Rick's wife. Having her die in season 3, I was like, oh my. And looking back on it now, especially, wow, how soon to have that happen. It'll always be. That arc, there's more than I can even talk about regarding that arc. Where's season 5? Where's she at? Am I supposed to be doing this in order of like show by show, or should I be mixing everything in? I was gonna go with season 5. Do you know what? No, let's go a bit sideways. Tales. This is gonna be controversial, and people are probably gonna want to, like, I don't know, beat me to death. I'm putting Tales up in B. I really enjoyed Tales. I thought it was brave. I thought it was ballsy. I thought they took chances. Being an anthology show, it could have gone any fucking way. The Walking Dead had a very strict formula. It had a very strict way of doing things, and it worked. Fear was kind of the same, and then Fear just developed its own goddamn thing. Fear was like, shut up, I'm going to do what I want. And Tales kind of did that too, but Tales had a completely different vibe to Fear and The Walking Dead. And I appreciate that. I like it when a show takes risks, when a show is ballsy, when it does exactly the opposite of what you think it's going to do. And with a franchise like The Walking Dead as well, it's such a specific genre. It's such a specific franchise that if you're not careful, any spin-off that you do will just slowly morph into being a copy of the original thing. Fear avoided that by just being absolutely batshit, and Tales it had its own vibe. It had its complete own feel to it. It does feel like the distant sibling of The Walking Dead, but it's its own thing in itself, and I liked it. I loved Alpha's episode. A lot of people did though. A lot of people like getting to see one of the main characters pop up. I loved the episode that was set in the house where the dead started rising outside the door. I liked the episode where it was like Groundhog Day, where it was like the same thing over and over again. Lots of people didn't like that because they were like, it didn't feel like The Walking Dead. And it's like, it's not supposed to feel like The Walking Dead because it isn't. I hope that with season 2 of this show, or I think, I don't know, are they doing a season 2 to this, or are they doing another spin-off to Tales of the Walking Dead or Tales from the Walking Dead? I hope they stick with the formula that they had. I hope that they do new faces and new characters that we've never met in very different situations. Because there's so many stories that you could tell. There's so much you could do. And yeah, I do want to see characters that we know from the main shows too. I'd love to see Tales of the Walking Dead episode with, like, I don't know, Abraham or Sasha or someone that we haven't seen in a while that was so well loved. But I don't want the show to just morph into what Walking Dead universe character are we going to get this week. You know, so I hope to find a nice balance between bringing in characters that are known and loved. I just caught sight of Fear the Walking Dead poster, and I have that poster and I used to have it on my wall and I adore it. I love that poster. I think that's Fear's best poster. I don't know where I put it, and I want it. I want it back. And also, I would love a whole Tales of the Walking Dead episode about John fucking Dory. I miss that cowboy. Yeah, but I loved Tales, and the potential is there for it to do and be whatever the hell it wants. We'll go with World Beyond. Hang on, let's sit them up here beside each other. Let's bring them up. I'm going to have to actually Google because they're so goddamn similar. I can't tell which is the season 1 poster and which is the season 2. I think this is the season 1. Much like with Tales of the Walking Dead or with Fear. I don't know. It had... World Beyond had its own vibe. It had its own feel. We knew from the trailer. When that trailer dropped, we knew that it was going to be something different. That it was going to be completely unlike what we were used to. I mean, The Walking Dead is gritty. You know, everything about it, the characters, the storylines, the shit they deal with. Even like looking at the posters, the colour scheme, the colour gradient. It's just, it has its own vibe. It's grown up, it's mature. Walking Dead World Beyond then went the opposite, because you're dealing with the younger cast. You're dealing with this kind of coming of age story in the apocalypse, finding yourself while trying to survive. And even the posters reflect that, and I really, really like that. Now, when it comes to the show itself, in my opinion, it wasn't for me. There was some lovely moments. There really was. There was some heartwarming moments. There were some good characters that were built up that I did quite like. I liked Jadis's appearance. I really liked Jadis's appearance in, I think it was season 2. Who'd have thought? Back in the day, I wanted to fist fight Jadis. Remember that sentence I lay with him after? Oh my God, I wanted to just grab her by the hair and swing her around that graveyard. Whoa, Freudian slip. Maybe I wanted to put her in a graveyard, but I wanted to swing her around the dumpster where her and her people lived. But I don't know, seeing her pop up in World Beyond, it was that familiar face, that sense of familiarity in a show that's so new and different. It felt grounding, you know. But again, I like that they took risks. I like that they explored things that hadn't been really done yet in this universe. I'm going to put it... Hang on, I need to decipher season 1 from season 2 because I can't remember what the fuck happened and what. Yeah, I just got up a list of the characters. Iris, who I remember quite liking. There was Hope, who I don't think I was totally sold on. Silas, who was alright. Elton, oh yeah, no, I loved Elton. Wasn't he the little fucker that ran around in like the Velcro suit? Felix, loved Felix. Huck, Elizabeth Kublek. Oh, she was the lieutenant, okay. Yeah, and Jadis was in it as well. A lot of people kind of complained about the pacing. They complained about a lot of the choices that were made. I thought it was good. I thought it was fine. I thought the finale of season 1 was quite good. I could be misremembering this. Okay, I'm going to put 1 in D. And that I feel really mean, but someone has to come in last. All right, it's a list. And I'll put season 2 maybe in C, because I think I remember liking season 2 more than season 1. That could be because it's newer and fresher, and they were wrapping up the storyline, and I'd gotten a grasp already on who the characters were. Because that's the thing about starting new shows with me. I'm desperate with names, okay? I'm alright with faces, but I'm so bad with names. And trying to establish who everybody is to each other and how they all connect and fit in is like, it's... So that's where I would rank them. I don't think that would be all that surprising. Although I know there's going to be people at my goddamn throat in the comments for putting this on the same level as season 2. But, you know, that's just what I feel about season 2. Oh, now we're getting spicy. Okay, so hang on. Oh, lads, what was that show? What was the one about the submarine? Oh, God, I'm going to have to search this. The Walking Dead. Dead in the Water. Okay, so there was a mini-series or a web series called Dead in the Water that I absolutely adored. It was these really short, like bite-sized clips. They were 5 or 6 minutes long each. And when you put them all together, it totaled like 40 minutes, which was just the regular length of an episode of a usual show. I absolutely loved that. I loved it. I loved the premise. I loved the pacing. I loved it. I thought it was so good. They filled so much drama and theatrics into it. And then that later tied into Fear, because it's the submarine that we later see in Fear. Absolutely loved it. So I would put Fear the Walking Dead, Dead in the Water. I would put that maybe up in B, right beside Tales. Okay, let's get on to Fear. This also might piss people off, I don't know. But I'm just going to go ahead and put season 1 up with season 1 of The Walking Dead. I absolutely, to this day, I love season 1 of Fear the Walking Dead. I haven't rewatched it in a while, but I plan on it. I really liked the characters. I really liked the pacing. I loved the chaos. I loved the energy. Even looking at the posters side by side for season 1 of Walking Dead and season 1 of Fear, very similar vibe. You can tell they're sister shows, but still they're different enough. Both the posters and the show themselves, they're different enough. And I think as well with the introduction of the Clark family and the dynamics that go on in there, you had Alicia and Nick. They were still quite young in season 1. Bringing teens in the first season of a show. You got Travis, you had Madison. Daniel was season 1 as well, wasn't he? And so was Strand. Crazy that they're still on it after all this time, isn't it? I remember when this was announced, I was so excited. I remember watching it. I watched season 1. I'm pretty sure I watched season 1 as it was airing, and I really, really enjoyed it. I didn't start reactions until season 2 or maybe 3. But man, I love season 1 of Fear. The only critique I'd have is that it moved on a bit too quick. I mean, what was season 2 the one with the yacht? Are we going to get on to season 2? Which is the one with the pirates? That wasn't it Jesse McCartney just fucking swung in out of nowhere? It's crazy because Fear was so popular back in the day that the season 2 poster, where am I going to put this? I'm going to put 2 up in A. I remember this fucking promo image being on t-shirts in Pennies. And I don't know, in my opinion, you know, Pennies, Primark, whatever you call it, wherever you're from, in Ireland it's called Pennies. That's how you know something's popular, when Pennies gets in merch. Yeah, so season 2 starts off with them looking for the Abigail. Alicia starts talking to Jack on the radio. Yeah, season 2 is the one with the pirates. I mean, that's the only problem that I had. The pirate storyline, it was ridiculous, okay? Because it was so soon, it was ridiculous. But I still really liked it. I really did. I think if they had just left that for a little bit later, season 3 or 4, it would have been fine. Fear the Walking Dead, the whole thing is like, where were you when it happened? The whole pitching premise of the show is that it was about the beginning. It was about the downfall of humanity once the outbreak hit you in the face. And I feel like they did that really well in season 1. And then, they kind of continued that in season 2. But then they just started rushing and firing everything at the wall. And it's like, I loved a lot of those storylines. But if they had just managed to stretch out the beginning, stretch out fleshing out the characters, stretch out being stuck in one place, rather than jumping from city to boat to shore to city back to the boat. I think they should have spent more time on the very, very beginning, instead of jumping straight to, people are forming groups and pirate crews. Season 3 as well I quite liked. I think I'll put season 3 in B. Where's the promo image? There we go. 3 I'll put in B. I liked 3. I liked that we're continuing the story with Nick and Luciana, and then you still have him dealing with the drug storyline as well, which I liked. I liked seeing that in this world, seeing a person who had struggles and who had shit going on before the outbreak have to then deal with that and learn to adapt while in the goddamn apocalypse. I loved Nick. Nick was always my favourite character. Nick was my absolute favourite. I was goddamn distraught the day that young fella was killed off the show. I know he wanted off the show. I get it. Does not make it any easier on me. Okay. Yeah, so season 3 then is we get to the ranch with the Otto family. So where we meet fucking Troy and Jake. Strand reunites with Daniel Salazar, who's presumed dead, trying to find his daughter, Ophelia. I remember really liking season 3. I'm not that fond of Troy as a character though. And I don't really remember Jake. Who the fuck is Jake? I'm seeing his face, but this man is not ringing any bells for me. He looks like somebody that would have been in Teen Wolf. Find season 4 then. I can't remember what the promo season for 4 looked like. I'm sorry, I'm just after getting flashbacks to the the scene where Nick was fucking drinking, wasn't it brain stems or something at a bar? He was just fucking downing shots of these brain stems. There we go. This is season 4. Yeah, so I'll put season 4 up in A. Cause wait, is that season 4? That's season 6, you sneaky bastard. Come back down there. This is 4. Yeah, this is 4. So I'll put 4 up in A as well. season 4, it gave the show the newness that it needed. It made it feel new and exciting in a way that it hadn't felt since season 1. Look, Nick leaves the show. Yeah, that sucks. So this is the season that Nick leaves, which that feels a bit conflicting to say it's one of my favourite seasons, because he is my favourite character and still is. Maybe with the exception of Strand. I'd put Strand up there now on level with Nick for my favourite character from this franchise. But I don't know, there was just something about season 4. I mean, you had Morgan crossing over. You had June and John Dory being introduced, who I just adored. I loved the bones of them. They to me were the Glenn and Maggie of the Fear the Walking Dead universe. Al was introduced as well. Where are my goddamn tapes? I need my tapes. Where are my tapes? Don't touch my tapes. That Al. I'm pretty sure Charlie was introduced this season too. I'm just getting up the synopsis of the season so I have a rough overview. It's funny because Alicia is a character that grew on me. I've always been honest when it comes to what I think, what I like, what I don't like. I wasn't that overly keen on Alicia in the very beginning. It took me a while to warm up to her. I think it was season 3 before I really started loving her character. She used to irritate me back in the beginning, but she grew on me, and with each passing season, I just absolutely fell in love with her character. She does have a very passionate fan base, which I get because, hello, she's a great actress. But I fucking love Alicia. And I feel like I don't know how... Listen, we're jumping the gun a little bit here, but I don't know how we are going to wrap up the end of Fear without Alicia goddamn Clark. Yeah, we got Madison back. To be honest, I'm excited. Yeah, woo woo. But do I give all that much of a fuck? Honestly, probably not. If we don't get Alicia back, slapping the Madison plaster on the wound to try to cover that ain't gonna work for me. So I'm super interested to see what they do at the end of Fear, how they're going to finish the storylines, and if what's left of the Clark family will be reunited. I really hope so, but that's jumping the gun way too soon. Anyway, absolutely loved John Dory. I loved Daniel's storyline around this time as well. I loved Walker's storyline. We'll take season 5 then. Is season 5 the one with the hot air balloon? Because I swear, this poster is my favourite promotional image from Fear, yes. But it's up there even in the Walking Dead universe in general. And I prefer that poster, that one right there, than this one. This is the one that you always see everywhere, where Alicia is just goddamn Spider-Man her way across the top of the frame. Don't know what's going on there. I liked the theme of this one. I liked that the whole we gotta help people, you know, because if we lose our humanity, what are we? If we just fuck around and just become assholes like everyone else, what becomes of people in general? I liked the concept. I got a bit like, okay, but there needs to come a point where all life is precious has to be to an extent, you know? I think Morgan Jones did so much for this show. He did so much. He brought so much. He didn't really get his time to shine all that much in The Walking Dead, but after coming into Fear, in my opinion, I think he really, really did. This season is also the one where Dwight decides, you know what, I'm going to fuck off over to our sister show too. Yeah, it says here that Dwight meets John and June in episode 3 of season 5, which is Humbug's Gulch. I liked that. I really liked seeing Dwight. Again, he got his time to shine in this show. I feel like he had his place in The Walking Dead, obviously, and I liked his character an awful lot, but you got to see a completely different side of him in Fear. And Fear does that. It brings out a very in your feelings side to characters that I really liked. I loved John and June's episode with Dwight. I really did. Yeah, Al gets to meet Isabel a couple of episodes later. There's the episode with the plane wreckage. And then John finds a note from Sherry asking for Dwight to give up the search, but he lies to him about it because Cowboy had his sneaky ways and was like, true love will find a way. Dwight and Sherry, it just, their relationship, I don't know. Fear in The Walking Dead, I feel like shit drove them apart, right? The whole living under the Saviour's complex, under Negan and all that, put a strain on their relationship, obviously. But then when they crossed over into Fear, Sherry didn't want to be seen. She didn't want to be found. She didn't want to be seen. Do not perceive me. And Dwight was busting his bollocks trying to find her, tearing his ass all over the place. I don't know. And I don't know how we're gonna look moving forward, because there's a time jump, and in the very last season, their kid, hang on, I've been talking so much. We'll just put this up here. Their kid is grown. They're still together. I'm like, right. And I feel like he spent a lot of this season just following her around, trying to follow her, and then they get together, don't they? And then they break up, or she tries to leave him or something. Charlie and Strand take cover from the herd using the balloon. Oh my god, yes, the balloon. This season, wow. We had everything. We had a plane crash in here. We had Dwight playing peekaboo, trying to find his goddamn wife. We had the hot air balloon. The power plant melts down and the contaminant building explodes. Oh, there was the radioactive fuckery there for a while. My God, I forgot about that. Then there's the episode where Al is interviewing the group to create a documentary so that they can show that to others to kind of recruit people. Wes comes into it this season too. Oh my God, this was a fucking jam-packed season. Holy hell. Is this also the season where we find Teddy? Or am I nuts? Is this... Hang on, because does Wes end up underground with a tree painting or something? Am I wrong? Hang on, I need to read these synopsises because I swear to God. Oh, this was the season of painting trees. Yeah, I remember that too. There's a Rabbi Jacob Kessner. There's a situation with the oil. Virginia! Man, I forgot she was even in the show. You're one from The Boys. I'll put a picture on screen. Her, Mrs. from The Boys. Even though when I was watching The Boys, all I kept saying is, oh my God, she's in fear. Let's just listen to this for a sentence. This season was truly, absolutely bonkers. Listen to this for a sentence. Al discovers the group previously staying at the park was wiped out by Virginia. And John marries June. Listen, I am so glad we got to see a wedding in this goddamn universe. In my opinion, you could not have had two more well-suited, adorable, lovey-dovey motherfuckers get married. And I am so glad they got their wedding. I loved it. Was it ridiculous? Yeah, sure was. Was it unnecessary? Yeah. You're in the apocalypse. Yeah, you could just say that's my husband over there. Who the fuck's going to question you? No one. Who's going to ask to see your legal papers to show that you're married? No one. But still, I loved it. I wanted it and we got it. What a batshit season. I will say, I feel like it lacked direction a little bit. I feel like it was a kind of all over the place. There was so many things going on and so many things coming in and leaving that it did feel a small bit messy. Oh, where's season 6? Season 6 is the one with Teddy. I love that shit. Oh my God, the cult stuff. Yeah. Especially with how the cult storyline ended. I loved that. This is 6. We'll put 6 up an A. Listen, I know a lot of you mightn't agree with that. I don't care. I loved it. Fear is the type of show that I feel like it drags its heels and it can weigh down the storyline sometimes, but at the same time, sometimes it can just move so quickly that it's like warp speed. There's weddings, there's radiation, there's people dying, there's people joining the show, there's new characters coming in that you've forgotten about. It's just... The start of the season alone says enough. You had the lady who tied her kid onto herself and lets her dog walk her to safety. She becomes walkified, dies, but her last dying wish was, well, you know, Rufus, you and me, buddy, I better hope you know where you're going because I'm about to die and this child has to get somewhere safe. My God. Oh my God, he slipped my mind completely. John Dory Sr. is also here. I forgot about him. Oh, Teddy drives Dakota up to a hilltop so they can bask in the fruits of the destructive labour. In comes John Dory Sr. in June. They try to convince Dakota to come with them by offering forgiveness for killing John Dory. My God. Listen, I forgive Charlie for killing Nick. I don't have it in my heart to do that again with another kid. She killed John Dory and I'm like, oh my fucking God. I'm cursed when it comes to this show. Any character that I pick as a favourite dies. That my mum had that course going on with the Walking Dead. Her favourite character was Dale. Then it was Herschel. Then it was Glenn. And then she just gave up. She said, I'm not picking a fucking favourite no more. I give up. I've reached that point with Fear. But yeah, I liked the Teddy storyline. I thought that shit was really fun and absolutely insane. Season 7 then. I don't know. Season 7 I liked. I liked the conflict. I liked that they changed around the normal... what you'd expect to see. But I did like that they made Strand a villain. Don't like how it was resolved. My guy had the potential to be absolutely huge. He's Victor fucking Strand. And then it all just kind of evaporates, doesn't it? I did like the submarine episode. I thought that was interesting to watch. I just love it when we're given a new, unique set. We're given different things, I guess. And I liked the submarine, even though I think we saw the submarine last season, didn't we? Oh my good Jesus. Again, this one sentence. I have up synopsises for each of the seasons and for each of the episodes. Episode 5 of season 7, this sentence. With a code to guide them, Dwight and Sherry become ethical outlaws known as the Dark Horses. Well, sure, what else would you be doing? Yeah, Mo gets sick and Morgan needs to go to Strand's tower. I'm just going to put season 7 in C. I enjoyed it as I was watching it, as it was airing. I thought it was fun. I thought it was, you know, it was different. But looking back on it in comparison to other seasons, it isn't as strong. Yeah. And then you got the departure of Alicia at the end that's I'm still super salty about, and I don't know. I don't know what that means for the last season. Fear is just I like Fear because, like I said, it's ballsy. It gives you everything that all at once that you never thought that you'd see in a show like this. You got cults, you got hot air balloons, you got weddings, you got babies being born. You you got ethical outlaws. So if I'm going from season 7 of Fear, let's jump back to season 5 of The Walking Dead. Here she is right there. Now see, this is where it's going to get a bit spicy because I don't know how the hell we're going to end up moving Fear down, aren't we? I'm going to put 5. I'm going to put 5 in B. I really liked the first half. I loved the Terminus storyline coming crashing down. I want to rewatch that because I just recently today, I fucking did the last ever reaction video for Once Upon a Time. Henry Mills in the last season of Once Upon a Time is goddamn Garrett from Terminus. Shocking, I know. I had never seen that motherfucker in anything outside of The Walking Dead. So I would like to go back and rewatch the Terminus season. I haven't watched that in a while. It's been at least a year. Man, Beth was still alive in season 5. Oh my god, yeah. Grady Memorial Hospital. In the midst of events, part of the group travels to Washington, D.C. in search of a possible cure for the Walker virus. Second half of the season focuses on the group's addition and experience in newfound sanctuary Alexandria. So just for that alone, like, just for the introduction of Alexandria alone, how iconic that is, I have it in B. It's not one of my most rewatched seasons. I feel like I should bump it up. Hang on now, hold up. I'm going to bring that up and bring Fear down. I think that's going to happen a lot as we work our way through the seasons. Sorry, my brain just shut the fuck up there. I'm putting 6 and I am putting 7 right up there, and so this is the top S tier. People are going to get really mad at me for that. I don't know why people hate season 6 so much and season 7 even more. I love it. I think it's just because I was at the height of my Walking Deadness around 6 and 7. I started reactions at the end of season 6, just before the lineup. I can't remember what my first reaction video was. I think it was the one where Maggie and Carol were taken prisoner by your one that was also in the movie. She was also in the movie Urban Legend. That's all I remember about her. I just don't remember being as worked up as I was about the finale for season 6 in my life about any TV show ever. To this day. To this day, I've never felt that level of like pure unhinged insanity when the credits started rolling. And I really loved season 7. Getting the vibe for the Saviours. Getting the vibe kind of like with Woodbury and with the Governor. Learning the hierarchy within the groups. Learning who his right-hand man is. Learning who the Milton is to his governor, you know. Watching how Negan, I'm talking about now. Watching how he deals with things. Watching Simon, Dwight. The difference between people who follow him out of fear versus out of respect. Versus out of I want to be you one day, so I'm learning. The Saviours compound I loved. I loved the Sleeping Saviours scene. Oh my fucking goodness. That's towards the end of season 6. The scene where they roll up on the Sleeping Saviours. You got the Polaroids up on the wall. Foreshadowing. Hello. The song Arsonist's Lullaby by Hosier is playing. I love season 6. I love season 6 and I love season 7. It's funny because when I think of The Walking Dead season 6, I think of, okay, the lineup and Arsonist's Lullaby by Hosier. When I think of season 7, I think of also the lineup, the aftermath, oh my god, and Easy Street. But again, getting to learn the different shit that's at play. Like, you get to really learn about Dwight and Sherry. You get to learn about Dwight as a person, why he's there. Then the Daryl and the Dwight relationship that starts up from there. I didn't know, like, I spent a lot of time wanting to kill Dwight. A very long lot of time. Especially when he shot him. My god, I wanted to kill him and rip him apart with my bare hands. Daryl's my guy. If you even look at him wrong, I'm like, I'll stomp you to death. I don't remember where I ranked this on my original ranking video. Season 8 deals with all-out war. Obviously, you're continuing the Saviours storyline. How are we going to deal with them? Oh yeah, I forgot that. Fucking damn it, Hilltop was introduced in season 7 as well. You got Ezekiel and Jerry introduced, 2 of my favourite characters. Carol and Ezekiel's relationship is one of my favourites, if not my favourite. No, Rick and Michonne are my favourite. Well, Carol and Ezekiel had my whole ass heart too. I just love Zeke. He's so larger, well, in the beginning larger than life, and then you get to know him and he explains why he puts up the facade, and I'm like, oh my god, fucking love you. Season 8 deals with all that war. You got Sadiq being introduced. Yeah, we'll put that up in A as well. Even though I don't like how that season ended, I don't agree with them. I understand why they did it. I completely understand why they did it. You've Mercy as episode 1 and Rat being the last episode. I understand why they did what they did. Yeah. I don't like it. The whole cutting his neck and then being like, save him. Like, dude, one, you were taking such a risk there. What if they couldn't perform magic and stitch up his sliced up windpipe? And also, I love Negan, I do. But my god, if I was Rick, I just would have let him die. This whole will make an example out of him. I guess it worked out in the long run, and it was the right thing to do, because now look at Negan running off to Manhattan with Maggie to save the day. But still, that was just over the top. Season 9 had some of my absolute favourite moments. Season 9 had Rick's last episode, which I adored. I thought it was beautifully done. Hated saying goodbye to him, but I understand. You had the introduction. I've been talking for an hour. I'm finding it really hard now. I'm struggling with the words. You had the introduction of Luke's group. Kelly, Connie, Magna, Yumiko, Luke. I liked their group a lot. I liked the episode Stradivarius. I just liked those characters. Yeah. You had the introduction of the Whisperers. Fucking iconic. I mean, in my opinion, they're going to go down as some of the biggest, baddest bad guys in TV history. Beta and Alpha walked onto that screen. Those motherfuckers whispered their way into the consciousness of pop culture. God, I can't remember her character's name, but your one from Hocus Pocus was also in this season, which I thought was so cool. Balls. Thora Birch. We had the Cam before, which is one of the most impactful episodes in Walking Dead history. You have them trying to do a normal thing, have a goddamn fair, and then people's heads ends up on sticks. My god. There's certain moments like that in Walking Dead history that are just scarred on your brain as a viewer. That scene of the governor where you sit in front of the panels of all the goddamn heads in the fish tanks. Glenn and Abe getting their heads bashed in. Pike scene. They're things that just never leave you. You know, scarring kind of shit. I don't know though, Rick leaving the show and the show continuing on and still giving bangers like that, like the Cam before. Or like The Storm, which is probably my favourite episode all season, just because aesthetically I could not get over this fucking episode. I loved this episode so goddamn much. Oh god, I think I'm gonna make a change. Am I gonna make a change? Okay, well, I feel like that should be up there. I didn't actually realise I loved season 9 as much as I did. We're going to bring you down, but that's okay, because we're going to bring Tails down too. I don't want to bring Tails down. I liked Tails. We're putting Tails back up. But yeah, The Storm had some of my favourite aesthetics. I loved it. And I loved that we got to see Negan went out on a limb, running, risking his ass, trying to save the goddamn day. I love the relationship that Judith struck up with Negan. I completely forgot to touch on Coral's death. There's a lot I forgot to touch on, but there's so many seasons and so many shows that we're dealing with in this video. But the moment between Lydia and Carol at the edge of that goddamn cliff, that wasn't this season. I feel like season 10, it kind of has to go up there, right? With 9? Season 10, God help us. She really tried her fucking best, season 10. Oh my god, the planned season finale was scheduled to air on the 12th of April 2020. But post was delayed due to COVID. The episode aired on October 4th, with an additional 6 episodes added to the 10th season that were broadcast from February 28th to April 4th. I loved the bonus episodes. In my opinion, the bonus episodes were some of the best episodes from the goddamn season, okay? I loved Princess's episode. I loved how claustrophobic that was, how we were stuck in the goddamn train cart with her. The Daryl and Carl episode, actually, they got 2. Unless I'm mistaken. Didn't they get 2 and one of them was all about Carol making dinner or some shit? That one, I'm like looking back on it. But some of the other ones, I mean, here's Negan. Fucking impeccable. Impeccable everything. Impeccable storytelling, cinematography, acting, obviously, because the casting choice for Lucille was, you could not get any more perfect. But yeah, this season anyway, dealt with the end of the Whisperers, all that coming to a close. You got Negan pulling the old switcheroo and teaming up with Carol to bring down Alpha. Oh, the Aaron and the Gabriel episode. That might be one of my top Walking Dead episodes in history. Aaron and Gabriel find an apparently abandoned warehouse to spend the night. They get really fucking drunk, remember? That's not in the official synopsis, but it should be. The next day, Aaron's missing and a gunman named Maze approaches Gabriel to tell him that he is in his safe house and that Gabriel and Aaron have taken his supplies. Maze reveals a tied up Aaron, forces him and Gabe to play Russian roulette. That episode was so intense. Splinter, that's the princess one that I really loved. It's not just Princess, Yumiko and Zeke are in it too. I loved getting to see that side of Zeke. Wow. And then of course I'm going to put the season 11 ain't here. I'm going to put season 11 up with, so this is the top, up into S tier. Because I just think they ended the show perfectly. I loved the pace of the 11th season. I love how they ended it. When I think of season 11, I just think of the end. I think of the final episode. I think of the final line that was said that was so impactful. Got it tattooed. Which I know coming from me isn't saying a lot because I get tattoos for just about anything. But wow, I loved that line, "We're the ones who live." I love how the show handled itself, particularly after Rick's departure, with the final 2 seasons being as strong as they were, with the lead having left. And then Michonne leaves. Like, you're losing out on 2 of your main characters that people adore and are fucking attached to. The show did so well for itself, especially in closing. I love The Walking Dead. I love it and I miss it, okay? Still not happy that Rosita died, but I know Christian wanted out. She definitely didn't want her character being like resurrected in a spin-off or being given another storyline in a spin-off somewhere, which I get. But I like how it was wrapped up. I like how everybody had their stories come to a close while still leaving things open in case people did want to bounce over to spin-offs. It's going to be interesting to see how this tier list changes. I'll try and revisit this maybe in a year. I'll try and remember to come back to this video and revisit it. And factor in the Dead City, Daryl's show, Rick and Michonne's show, and Fear, and Tales if that comes out by then. But yeah, that's where we're standing now. I guess, was I too harsh on C&D? Should I be moving stuff down? I don't know. I feel like I need to bring this season down because this season was a mess. But I enjoyed it. It was a mess that I really liked. But I know it was not up to scratch with the other seasons. I get that. I feel like maybe this should be brought down too. Season 5, as much as I liked it, I would not put it on par with 9 and 10. But then if we're being honest, I would not put this on par with 9 and 10 of The Walking Dead either. So does this need to come down? I'm really angering people with this, aren't I? Anyway, that's it for this ranking. Let me know what you thought. Let me know how mad you are at me and how wrong I am and how stupid I am, because I know there's going to be people that are letting me in on that in the comments. These are just fun. I love getting to talk the shit with you guys and talk through and reminisce and remember things. Like, I'd forgotten about the pirates and Fear. What a sentence. But there's only a few weeks until Fear returns for the last season, and then we have a summer of Walking Dead content, actually. Hang on, I need to make myself a bit bigger. So yeah, I just thought it would be nice to revisit some of the past seasons and see how they've held up over time. Having to Google intermittently every now and again to try and remember what in the love of God went down in each season, because they do start to blur after a while, especially with Fear. My God, so many of them storylines just start to blur together. You're trying to remember, was the hot air balloon in the same season as the wedding? Or was that the same season as the radioactive shit? I hope I didn't anger ye too much, and if I did, well, cool. That's what opinions are supposed to do. Let me know your thoughts and your opinions down below. Let me know if your list is much different to mine, which I'm guessing it is. Again, thank you so much for watching, and I'll talk to you all soon.